So I've taken my cake out to defrost. I've just made my ganache. I don't have a cake board for, I'm just sort of got my cake here because I'm going to cut it so it's rectangular, and then I'll probably add the extras just on the side to make it a bit more of a rectangle. I'm going to use this board to ganache it on. I don't have a cake board because I don't want to cut one to size. So yeah, I'm just going to mark up my cake and cut it. That's how I've cut my cake. I've just done that by sight. It might be slightly crooked, but that's fine. Okay, and so I'm just gonna, just literally measuring up like that, I will just slice it, and I might actually slice the side off first and then measure it up. You see there I've just done a little slice just along there, just so that that is about the width that I want. So I'm going to slice that part off and then measure it up for the length. Okay, you can see the height, so I will chop a bit of that off as well. And then it's just quite easy once you measure up your pieces like that. I'll grab my knife and I'll just slice along the bottom so I know how big the piece will be. Where I've put in the slice, so that's pretty much fine. So I'm going to slice that off and then slice off a bit off so that that's even. Okay, so that is good enough. I probably sliced a bit too much off, you can see there, but it's fine because once I do ganache, it'll all work out to the right thickness. It'll all work out, smooth out perfectly. My cake is still a bit frozen, which is good. That's why it was nice and easy to cut. So I'm just going to wait for my ganache to cool down a bit and then I'll start ganaching. I've just had that in the fridge for a bit, so it's now stuck together. It's nice and hard. I've got my ganache. I'm just going to cover it and smooth it out with the ganache. So next thing is I'm going to roll out some fondant for the lid of the toy box. So I've got my cake here. What I've just done is this is a piece of cardboard, very light cardboard. I think it's about 200 GSM or anyway. And what I've just done is I've lined it up and just marked in where the cake ends on both bits, just so that that is my guideline for cutting out. So I'm going to get some white fondant. I'm going to add Tylo powder because obviously I want it to be to dry hard. I'm going to roll it to about, so what's that, about half a centimetre? No, a bit less than half a centimetre width, and leave it to dry overnight. Hopefully it should be hard in the morning. That I've cut it out, that is about, it's a bit hard to do with one hand, but that is about the size. So I'm going to get some brush and hot water on my cake, roll out my fondant and cover it. So look, my doggy is sitting there thinking, yep. Anyway, this is why I have to keep my cakes away from her. So yeah, hot water on the ganache, and that will just help the fondant to stick to it. I'm not going to bother recording this because you've seen it a million times. Never mind, I will record it for you so that you can see, just because covering a rectangular cake. I've just placed that on top of my cake stand. I'm going to have to get a new ribbon later. Here's my little assistant here helping. So next up is putting in the wood details around the box. I've been experimenting to see what I can use to draw on my cake the wood grain, like the wood effect. I'm going to press onto it using that. So I've just done the back of a knife and a skewer, and both actually sort of give the same, because I'm just going to press down like that onto my fondant. This is straight away after I've just done it, so it's still nice and soft, just so I can get that effect. Probably just going to use the back of a knife because it's more stable. It'll be easier to just go like that and to do it. I'm just going to do it by sight. I'm not going to bother measuring it all. So I've just rolled out some fondant. I've mixed this with Tylo so that it will harden. It'll just make it a bit easier to manage. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, it's just a weird shape, I'm just going to cut out strips. Now these strips are going to go around and make a border around my toy box. So probably about 1 centimetre, about 1 centimetre, maybe a bit more strips. And then I'm going to cut them to size. So I've just got my strips here. I'm going to just start making a border and sticking it around my cake. My cake is looking like so far, so much better. This is really bothering me. I'm going to get some white food colouring and just lightly paint over it. And I'm going to get my tappet cutouts and cut out baby to stick on it.